Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Descent of Dragons has been a wild ride, and I haven't made a top decks video of this expansion yet because, first of all, we had the Galakrond Shaman domination period, and then we had very rapid balance patch and Galakrond Shaman was nerfed, and then after that things like Face Hunter started to be really dominant, but Face Hunter, it's a fast deck, it's an aggro deck, but it has weaknesses, and Face Hunter is not included in my top 6 decks to hit Legend right now in Descent of Dragons. Because while it has its strengths, it's also easy to counter. There are lots of decks that can counter it, and they started to push that a little bit out of the meta. And now that Face Hunter is going down in the top ranks, that has opened up a lot of space for more mid-range decks, like for example Highlander Hunter. Highlander Hunter, it's not as fast as Face Hunter, it doesn't have a great time playing against Face Hunter either, but with Face Hunter a little bit taking a beating, that has opened up space for Highlander Hunter, and now Highlander Hunter can use all of that value. Dino Tamer Bran, Dragon Queen Alexstrasza, Zephrys the Great. I mean, what's there not to like? That's some incredible power, combined with some secrets so that you can still defend yourself, because Face Hunter is not completely extinct, and the more durable aggro deck, Pirate Warrior, is still around. And Pirate Warrior remains a weakness for Highlander Hunter, but on the other hand, Highlander Hunter can really bring the pain to any sort of little bit slower deck. Against control decks, it just doesn't run out of threats very easily. And against other mid-range decks, it's difficult to outvalue the threats of a Highlander Hunter. In particular, Highlander Hunter is adept at defeating one of the meta tyrants at the moment, which is Galakrond Warrior. The nerfs to Galakrond Shaman also meant that for the first time we are actually seeing control decks a little bit rising up in this meta. So far it's just one control deck though, the Quest Resurrect Priest. This is my own version of the deck, which at the time I'm recording this is the #1 best performing list on HS Replay. And well, the main idea of Quest Resurrect Priest hasn't changed anything. If you have played Hearthstone in the past 6 months, you kind of know what this deck does. It plays the quest, it gets the hero power that buffs up those minions and heals a lot. Then it just removes all of your stuff, then it plays some minions, keeps resurrecting them, and it also keeps buffing them up, so the quest version has so much value. Quest version of Resurrect Priest, if it gets a single minion to stick, then that minion can become huge over just a couple of turns. Whereas the non-quest version used to be faster, so it was able to respond better to opponents, but now with Breath of the Infinite, the only new card used in this archetype, even the quest version has enough tools to survive those early games and get to churn out some value. So it's actually a deck that is able to beat aggro decks, it's able to beat mid-range decks, at least some mid-range decks. Some mid-range decks can have so much value that it can't quite churn them out of the game. And then of course combo decks are the true bane of Quest Resurrect Priest. But combo decks are not really part of the meta right now. Even stuff like Holy Wrath Paladin that was a little bit part of the meta for a while during the Shaman Stone era, it has now went into decline, with Galakrond Shaman getting nerfed and other decks being more effective and more direct and just able to kill the Holy Wrath Paladin. So that leaves a pretty good space for the Quest Resurrect Priest to shine. Another deck that has really come to its own after the Shaman nerfs is Deathrattle Rogue. Necrim Apothecary escaped the nerf patch unharmed, and well, you get that Necrim Apothecary out there, you get some +3, +3, +6, +6, +12, +12, something buffs on your minions, and boom, you go face with charge and game's over. So it's really a deck that wants the blade, wants the apothecary. Lots of people are taking in weapon removal, taking in silence to fight this, but when it hits the curve and you don't hit your tech card immediately at the start of the game, it's still very difficult to contest. Face Hunter was problematic for Deathrattle Rogue for a while, but now that the other decks are pushing Face Hunter out a little bit, then Deathrattle Rogue has more game against those decks in turn. However, pure aggro is not dead. Face Hunter might be going down and might be pretty extended on higher ranks, but Pirate Warrior is not. Pirate Warrior is more difficult to counter than Face Hunter is, because Pirate Warrior, it can just keep going. Face Hunter, it eventually just runs out of stuff to do, but Pirate Warrior has a lot of resource generation, it has some card draw in it, it's just able to keep going for an extended period of time, and it can really bring the pain with some big weapons. So Pirate Warrior is able to succeed against a much wider variety of decks, although Pirate Warrior is facing some stiff competition within its own class, because Galakrond Warrior seems to be outperforming it, and it's favored in the mirror. Oh, and that Galakrond Shaman, you know, the class and deck that was just hit with multiple nerfs because it was way too good. It's actually still good. It has needed to evolve a little, because in order to beat stuff like Deathrattle Rogue, then Galakrond Shaman is now including stuff like silence, it's including stuff like weapon removal, and it's even including stuff like healing in form of Witch's Brew to be able to beat aggro decks. So the deck has changed. It doesn't have as much tempo anymore as it used to do, because once the nerfs were in and its tempo was lowered, it couldn't quite compete with that full tempo game plan, but it still packs a ton of value. Once you become Galakrond, you get a pair of 8/8 rushers. Shudderwock is going to give you another pair of 8/8 rushers. You just have some big stuff coming on in the mid game. And while it can be difficult for Galakrond Shaman to challenge these pure face decks that were developed to counter it, then with some pure face decks being pushed out of the meta and slightly slower mid-range decks coming in, Galakrond Shaman suddenly finds itself in a position where it's actually able to compete very well. As long as you bring in a modern, improved list for the current meta. The very top deck at the moment though is Galakrond Warrior. Galakrond Warrior has become the premium aggressive mid-range deck. You invoke your Galakrond, you become Galakrond, you get some +4/+4 minions if you happen to get some Scions of Ruin going. That can just be incredible. Those +4/+4 minions give you some huge threats to play in the mid game, and the Galakrond hero power, that's still +3 damage every single turn. So it's really difficult to keep defending against that. And then you will also have some combo finishers, because you can have Leroy and Bloodstone Mercenary, and if your Leroy hits the +4/+4, then boom, that's just incredible. It's just so difficult to defend yourself against Galakrond Warrior, because the damage just keeps coming in, it's an endless stream of damage. And that has made Galakrond Warrior the most powerful mid-range deck in the game at the moment, and the most powerful deck in the game as well. The meta is still evolving. We had the nerf patch and we haven't really had enough time to fully develop the meta after that, so I expect there will be some changes in the first weeks of January. But if you still want to hit Legend in December, then here are 6 decks that are good to go. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.